Today, I want to talk about some variables in thinking, three in particular. I want to work my way up to them, but it is something that I've had to practice over and over and over and have to intercept my automated way of thinking that when I get these three variables down, life just seems to go better. I achieve more. I am happier. And I want to kind of work through this with you mentally, if not actually have you write this stuff down. And I want you to think about something that you're doing in your life right now, something that's really important, maybe a project or an issue, or maybe something you're worried about. Anything. It can be anything that's on your mind a lot. So for me, the book is on my mind a lot. The book that's going to be coming out here in a couple of weeks, if you're here with me real time. I don't know if you're watching this on a replay, maybe it's out already, but we're doing a lot of work related to the book. And so I'll keep that as mine. You pick whatever you want. And what I want to know from you, you're welcome to go in the chat and share what that is. You don't have to share. You can share it if you'd like. What is it? Maybe in a couple of words. But I want you to think about, as it relates to this project, this issue, this worry, this anxiety, something you hope might happen, something you hope might not happen, whatever it is, I want you to think about this. What will I focus on? Meaning, not this project, but that in and of itself at a macro level is something obviously I want you to consider deeply. But at this very moment, related to this item that you've gathered, what will you focus on? Because focusing equals feeling. It actually does. Whatever you focus on, you will feel, even if it's not true. And that's the really, really important thing here. So split focus on a number of issues. Well, just share if you'd like. Most relevant, focusing on improving productivity and performance, minimizing distractions. All right, Aravind, I love that. All right, so think about it. What is it that you're going to focus on? And I think about these questions every single day. I usually write them down in my journal somewhere at some point throughout the day. I try to get them out early, but it's always like a reset for me, and it always has a way of getting me to focus on things the right way. What is it that I'm going to focus on as it relates to the book? So for me, for example, I'm not focused on the book's performance, meaning how many people buy it. I have absolutely no control over that. I don't in any way, shape, or form think about how much money it will yield me. That's ridiculous. And even if it sells a lot of copies, I still don't earn a lot of money because I get like little fractional royalties. So I don't really think about that. I don't think about somebody who might do an editorial review on it or a Wall Street Journal review or any of that stuff because they don't control any of that. I don't think about any of that. I think about, why did I write the book in the first place? And that was for me, not to write a book. I don't need to write a book. I want to help you, and I want to educate you, and I want to teach you, and I want to share me with you. I want to share my lessons. What do I always say? The reason I write books is so that in a matter of hours, someone can add all my years of experience to their own. It's why I do it. I took a long time to write the book. It's not just writing the book, but I had to think about how many decades it took me to learn the lessons, how many months it took me to write the book, well over a year for it to go through a publishing process. That doesn't even include trying to get the publisher in the first place, in order to get it to the e-tailers and the bookshelves so that somebody can buy it. Then somebody takes the book, then they read it, then they hopefully apply it, then it changes their life, then they benefit, and so on. All of that. At each stage in the process, each day, each moment, I had to think about, what is it that I'm going to focus on? I only focused on what I was doing in the context of what I just described. But a lot of people, they focus on other things. They focus on what they are not. They focus on where they are not. They focus on what they can't control. So what is it that you're going to focus on? Because that's going to determine how you feel. Now, what we generally do anytime we think about anything, I want you to become mindful of this, because it becomes a real problem when you're trying to make decisions and you're trying to factor in information and you're trying to think about what matters, what doesn't, what's important, what isn't. All of you, you're managers of people, you're managers of processes, you're managers of systems, of businesses, of companies, or whatever it might be, units. But what we tend to do, just normal human nature, is we tend to subtract and stereotype, because this makes it easier for us to manage our focus. We eliminate a lot of things and ignore them as if they're not there, or sometimes we consciously delete them. And then we want to generalize. When I'm interviewing people, people from those companies are always. People of this culture are always. They behave this way always. Or just any kind of overgeneralization, we tend to do this. It actually really harms our ability to focus. It doesn't make it easier for you to have a lazier brain to focus more easily. I'm talking about consciously thinking through, what is it I'm going to focus on? If you start distorting and deleting and generalizing and stereotyping, it actually makes your ability to focus on what you actually want to focus on harder. So I want you to recognize that you are doing this, and next time you're thinking through as it relates to this project or issue or whatever it is that you decided you want to anchor on as your example for this talk, I want you to think about this. And the other thing is, when it comes to focusing or concentrating or imagining, what do we tend to do? One of the key variables is, do we focus generally on what we have or what we do not have? So right now, you can go in the chat and write this out, or you can actually just think about it for yourself. Are you focusing on what you have, or are you focusing on what you don't have? And if you're focusing on the latter, no, this is true. You can never possibly be truly happy if you are focusing on what you are not or what you don't have. It's impossible. There's an emptiness there. You will never have that kind of fulfillment. So I think about, what do I have? In this morning, I'm writing. I have this opportunity to write. I have this opportunity to do. I have written at this point 10,000 words or 20,000 words or 30,000 words. I do have a publisher. I am investing time. I do have the skill sets. I have the time. I've created the time. It's never, well, God, how much more do I have to go? When is this going to hurry up? Can I hurry up and get this over with? Or why am I not? Why am I not earning this? Why don't I have this? Why don't they love me? Why was I not invited to the party? So think about this, because in addition to subtracting and stereotyping, we generally, as a primary point of focus, think about what we have or what we don't. We talked about, I have this is my journal, that I do nothing in this journal but write my thoughts of gratitude. I don't write any negative thoughts in this, even if I have a negative thought. I don't put it in here. I have another book for that. So when you are practicing gratitude, whatever you focus on expands. You probably get that. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. If you're focusing on a gap, the gap will expand or continue ad infinitum. If you're focusing on what you do have, the relationship, the love, the job, the whatever, the money, it tends to grow. So when you're doing that and focusing on what you have, everything in your life tends to expand. So whatever your issue is, whatever your project is, are you focusing on what you have or what you don't have? So think about that. Think about that there for a second. Let me sit with that for a second. I'm going to grab some tea, and I want you to think about what you have, or if you're focusing on what you have or what you don't have. Pamela, count your blessings makes you more appreciative. It sure does. Sandy, I have a lot of uncompleted projects telling myself I don't have time. If you think about continuing to think you don't have time, you won't have time. Think about, what can you do? I can create time. What can you control? So think about it in those terms. All right, then what I want you to do is, after you've got down what you're going to focus on, I want you to think about this. We talk about reflecting. What do I say about experience, right? Experience is not what happened to you. It's the meaning you attach to what happens to you. That reflection, we talked about focusing as a group, right? Earlier on in this process. If you attach the proper meaning, what does this mean to me? What does it mean to me that I don't have enough time? Why am I focusing on that? So why am I focusing on what's not completed? Why not focus on what is completed and how you can get more of that done? So what does this mean to me? What level of meaning are you going to attach? Let me give you 3 variables here that I find that people I coach, generally, they attach meaning in one of 3 forms. Follow me if this is you. Raise your hand if this is you. I'm being punished, I'm being challenged, or I'm being given a gift. That's generally what happens. And I have news for you. The meaning you attach to what's happening to you or what you're doing at any moment in time is the single greatest factor that will determine the next thing you do. Am I being punished? You're likely going to feel guilty. You're likely going to back up. Am I being challenged? I don't want you to be motivated in a hollow manner because you think you are being externally challenged, but generally people will label it this way. Or, wow, how lucky. I have news for you. The greatest accomplishments you will ever have in your life will come because you place the greatest challenge in front of yourself. The issues that you overcome are what give you strength. If you want to pray for strength, then the thing that's going to precede that is going to be some level of challenge. So this generally is, now I'm not saying, there are infinitely many things that you can use to attach meaning. I'm saying that generally speaking, I would bet that most of them fall into one of these three buckets. So, and by the way, it can be both. I give you this gift of the challenge, but you get the idea. So think about what is it that think about what go ahead. You're all in your own journey right now. I'm just yapping and I'm just the facilitator. You're going through your exercise with yourself, with whatever that project is, whatever that thing is in your life. You're going to attach meaning to it. Whatever meaning you attach to it is going to determine the next thing you do. Because if you're feeling punished, you're likely going to take a step back. You're going to feel guilty and you're going to detract, right? You're going to retreat. We don't want that. We want you moving forward. But what I really want, or what I really hope, because it's going to yield the best, is that you move forward knowing the challenge or whatever, the fork in the road, or the job you didn't get, or the promotion you didn't get, or the relationship when somebody walked away. That was a gift. Let's hope it's a gift. I believe it's a gift because I think life happens for you, not to you. Right? Who's tracking with me so far? Okay, so this is going to determine the next thing you are going to do, because then it's going to become, all right, I'm punished, I'm challenged, I'm gifted, I'm whatever. What am I going to do about it? So think in these terms, because the what am I going to do about it is a question that in most cases will lead you to want to take control. What's the question I give you, most of you that follow me on the leadership side of stuff, but even in the job searching side of stuff? It's, what can I do with this right now? It puts the onus on me to actually take a step forward and take control and take action. We want to get you thinking about what you can control and what you can do. What am I going to do about it? Gives you a foray into taking control, which is what I want, which is what I hope you want. Because then what's going to happen is I want you to rethink, where is my focus? Again, ask yourself, anytime I think about anything, any decision I'm going to make, any step I'm going to take, any feeling I'm going to have, any action I'm going to do or take or whatever, these are the variables that I think about. I think in terms of, what do I have? Or, right, what do I have? Not what do I have not? What can I control or what do not? I don't think about what's out of my control. I can't do anything about that. I might be able to plan or mitigate what's out of my control or have contingency plans. But that, again, is in my control to put those plans in place to begin with. And then the other thing is, how many of you, show of hands, it's okay, we can laugh, right now are living in a time zone other than the one you're standing in, right? Are you where your feet are? Are you thinking about the past, or are you thinking about the future? Stats say 80% of you are in the future. Worried about something in the future? Most of the other 20% are in the past, and a few of you are here with me in the present. So if you, from a three variables perspective, wait, you're guilty. I hear that, mostly in the future. That's okay. This is hard stuff, because you, at all times, I think if you can collect yourself and think, am I focusing on what I have? Variable number one. Am I focusing on what I can control? Variable number two. And am I focusing on where I am now and what I can do now? You can plan for the future. It's okay. But are you focused on what you're doing right now to make sure that whatever happens in the future is going to occur because you planted seeds today or did something today that was giving yourself a better life or better positioning in the future to be wherever you wanted to be? So these are the three variables that I look at. And so if I had to ask you right now, with whatever it was that you were thinking about, whatever that project was, Are you thinking about what you have and making that expand because you are controlling what you can control because you're doing it now and you're not worried about what might happen or what might not happen? It takes a lot of conditioning to get to a spot where you only worry when you absolutely know you need to worry, because most of us are worried about things that A, never happen, B, even if they do, are going to be a lot less than in magnitude of issue, right, than we imagined them to be. We catastrophize. So this to me, and I know some of you are job searching, right? Was it a gift? Are you going to learn what you need to learn? Is it an opportunity to improve your networking skills, build some relationships, learn about new companies, maybe learn some copywriting from Coach Andy or whatever? Or are you just going to complain and moan and focus on what you don't have? If you lost your job, what you have is an opportunity to get an even better one and learn skills. You could look at it another way, like it wasn't a gift. That's okay too. I just don't think that's going to put you in the right kind of mindset to get the best results that you want. So every time I think about something, every time I weigh a project I'm going to do, an element in my business, a stage we're at, what I'm going to do on a Tuesday morning or whatever, this is what I think about. And to make sure, some of you know this about me because I've told you this, and Kara knows this. I don't make any decisions after 12 noon. Not really. I might do things after 12 noon. I have to. I don't have hours in the day. But I don't make any big decisions because my capacity to do all these things later in the day. Now, my 12 noon is not 4 hours of work. My 12 noon is 7 hours of work, right? I'm already 7 hours into my workday or some portion of my day. So I'm always thinking about, am I thinking about what I have? Am I thinking about what I can control? Am I in the present? What can I do? And I don't make any hefty decisions when I'm tired. I never want you to quit when you're tired or when it's tough. I want you to quit when you realize that whatever you're striving for, that there's no hope for a better future of you, of whatever you're striving for. But I don't want you quitting when the going gets tough. When the going gets tough, I want you to push through. But here again, your life to me is not built of all the major goals you set. I want you shooting high, yes, but it's really built for all the little micro steps, the micro decisions, the micro thoughts that you take is ultimately what makes you successful. Most of the time, just not quitting will get you to where you want to go. Practice not quitting, it works. And but in order for you to be able to do that effectively, you have to be conscious of these three variables. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed that.